Welcome to this quick tip for guitarists on how to create accountability in your playing and your learning process. We're going to start by identifying the law of attraction, which basically states you attract what you put out. Now, that could be positive or negative energy. If you tell the world that you're learning and where you're struggling, then the world can actually conspire to help you in where you're stuck. Conversely, if you don't tell anybody what you're doing, you don't ask for help, and you also have like a negative attitude in your head and you criticize yourself a lot, then you're not going to get very far because you're going to attract all that negative energy. All right? So you attract what you put out. Now, I'm going to give you 4 tips on how to up your game when it comes to creating accountability. First up is self-accountability. Okay? That doesn't require anyone else other than you because it all starts with you, ultimately, if you're going to learn the guitar. Now, I've done a whole video on goal setting, so check that out. It's in the description below, or floating around on the screen here somewhere too, possibly. But you can do this on your own. You got to set big goals and then micro goals that kind of get you there. And some people are good at that and some people aren't. But if you're good with self-accountability, that's where it starts. As a second idea, you might enroll in a course. Check out chordsavvy.com. I've got some courses available there that you can register for. There's also resources on YouTube and Udemy as well if you want to buy in-depth courses in whatever niche you're in, bluegrass, metal, rock, what have you. But that's a way to be accountable to yourself if you need that. As a second tip, I'm going to suggest that you simply jam with people. Okay, so just reach out to any of your friends, post on social media, however you can do it, but just jam. I remember the day I got my first guitar, Christmas morning, I was 16 years old, and I immediately went to my buddy Barry's house. He'd been playing for a while and was partially an inspiration for me to learn, and we just jammed. We didn't know what we were doing, but he showed me something, I showed him something. We just experimented, okay? And then I went on with my buddy Luke McMurray. We jammed a lot. I mean, it was really cool how he opened up improvisation and different genres of music, and we just tinkered and played, right? So jam with somebody. I also, in college, was religious about going to open mic nights. Okay, so you may consider going to a formal group that's open mic nights, very informal, but I was religious about it for 5 or 6 years, undergrad to grad school. I would play every Tuesday night, and I met a bunch of other musicians. I became a bass player through that. I became a drummer through that. I became a better guitarist through that, but it came from jamming and experimenting. Okay, so jam with people. That's the second tip. As a third tip, form a band. Okay, and it doesn't matter how bad you are or how good you are or how bad or good your friends are. Start socializing it. Socialize it at a party. Like, hey, I want to join a band. Do it on a Zoom call. Post it on social media. Just get the word out, and that will let the law of attraction bring other musicians to you. Okay? And the first band I was in high school was a ska band, and some of the guys in marching band were forming it. And I was like, I want to be a sax player in the band. And so we formed it. We practiced in the garage. We were called Slow Children at Play, and we really had a cool band, right? But that's how it came together. At a more serious level, if you look at Metallica, which I'm a huge fan of, Lars Ulrich originally posted in the Recycler magazine, drummer looking for metal musicians to jam with. Okay, really simple. And then a friend of James Hetfield's introduced James and Lars. James is the singer and rhythm guitarist for Metallica. Lars is the drummer. And the rest is history. But it's important to note that initially James wasn't too keen on Lars's playing, but Lars stuck with it, and within the next year they got together. Lars improved his playing. He and James found out they were kindred spirits, and Metallica became Metallica. Okay, so persistence pays. Putting it out there pays. People respond, and you can form a band. And even if you're not great, you can get better because that accountability is what's powerful because each of you ups the other person's game. As a fourth tip, I'll suggest, as I have before already, post something on social media. Say, hey, I'm learning guitar. Does anybody have tips? All right, that's not forming a band or jamming, but that's kind of getting the message out there. So leverage Instagram, Facebook, WhatsApp, whatever, socialize it in a Zoom call, and that will attract people to you that will conspire to help you through the law of attraction. As an example in my life, I'm really passionate about songwriting, and I've taken a couple courses at Berklee College of Music. Pat Pattison built the songwriting department. He has some fabulous courses you can check out if you want to go there with your own musical journey. And I took a course last year, and out of that, a bunch of us said, hey, let's keep meeting up. So there were 5 or 6 of us initially. We've added more musicians over the past 7 or 8 months. But religiously, every Sunday, At 3 p.m. Eastern, we get together and we talk about songwriting. Sometimes we share some of our original songs. We practice kind of tools and techniques to become better songwriters. And so we built our own virtual group. Okay, so that's not creating a band, that's not jamming necessarily. It's something totally different, but it creates accountability around music and guitar and songwriting for us. So what are the messages you can put out there to attract something to you virtually that can really create accountability? Those are some tips to up your accountability in your learning. Feel free to post any other ideas in the comments below. Connect with each other. There's possibilities there. Every moment you can connect with someone. If you need some self-accountability courses, check out chordsavvy.com. I got resources there. But ultimately, you have to leverage the law of attraction by getting into action. Okay? So once you get into action, that creates attraction for all sorts of cool musicians, and possibly you find in your musical soulmate. Like, there are people in my life that I met through music that I cannot imagine not having in my life. I love these people. They're awesome, and us being able to jam whenever we want is super cool. And that option is there for you if you leverage the law of attraction and build accountability into your playing and learning, just simply to rock on.